A viewer told me something the other day. He said, you seem to begin an awful lot of your little commentaries by saying, when I was a kid growing up here in Central Oregon. Really? I never noticed that. Which reminds me that when I was a kid growing up here in Central Oregon, there was a guy we called Mean Old Man. We called him Mean Old Man because he was mean. He was as sour as curdled milk. He hated kids the way a mule hates a horsefly. We used to say that if you kicked him in the heart, you'd break your toe. Plus, we called him Mean Old Man because he was old. The guy had to be pushing 40. Mean Old Man owned a little neighborhood grocery store, and if he caught a shoplifter, they were dead meat, especially if they were stealing dead meat. His tiny store was just a few blocks from the house I grew up in, and when any kid in the neighborhood wanted some gum or candy, Mean Old Man's store was really the only close by option, like it or not. Whenever a kid would just enter the store, Mean Old Man would watch over them like a dyspeptic hawk. He would loudly announce as soon as the kid walked in, "If I catch you shoplifting, I'm calling the cops." And he'd probably even get the FBI involved too, hoping the young perp would be handcuffed and frog marched out of the store for a long stretch in the Oregon State Pen. To discourage kids from even coming into his store in the first place, this is true. He deliberately stacked the deck. For example, he would take a bubble gum that would normally sell for a penny a piece, and he would painstakingly scotch tape 10 of them together so that the kids had to buy the whole bunch for 10 cents or none at all. Now, that may have been fiscally pragmatic, but there was no way a kid with limited resources was going to call Mean Old Man fiscally pragmatic man. As a result, some of the neighborhood kids, one in particular, would occasionally take the old five-finger discount. That's a euphemism for stealing. And that convinced Mean Old Man that all of us were robbing him somehow. But we weren't. There was really only one primary culprit, Fritz Piper. Piper was Ben's artful dodger, a local legend for his skills at petty larceny, and for being the primary thorn in Mean Old Man's side. If you read the index in the back of my high school yearbook here, you'll see Fritz's name. There it is, Piper. Fritz, Future Kleptomaniac Society, Young Criminals of America, Varsity Counterfeiters Club. I'm one of the lucky few in my class to still have this yearbook. You know who swiped most of them? Yeah. And when we were kids, Fritz Piper made off with loads of stuff from Mean Old Man's store. And Mean Old Man knew it. He just could never catch him at it. I lost track of Fritz over the years, but I always wondered, did he grow up to become a burglar, an embezzler, a grave robber, a congressman? Someone told me that they heard that Fritz Piper actually straightened out and became a church minister. That's good. But I hope somebody's keeping tabs on the collection plate.